Hey, good Monday morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. Got to tell you, this is taped because I'm out right now on board the Amigo. We are going to be attempting to send you some short updates from the Amigo to let you know exactly what's going on. The game plan when we left on Sunday evening was to head out to Tanner and Cortez Bank and see if that fish wanted to bite. Also, I should say, San Clemente Island, Cherry Bank, that's where that bluefin has been hanging out. There's been some much better fishing on the bluefin tuna, 30 to 80 pound fish, but some 160, 170 pounders kicked in there also. It's been a roller coaster, however. It's been very volatile. One day it bites, the next day it doesn't. So I'm hoping here on this Monday morning, we've already got a good catch going on the Amigo out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California. It is a beautiful Monday. We're hoping for great weather, and we'll be keeping you in touch. Now, tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., we've got Michael Fultz from Inside Sport Fishing fame. That TV show ran for 30 years, but his latest project is the history of sport fishing. It is spectacular. And we got to spend some really special moments with Michael in his home just the other day. So make sure 7 a.m. Tuesday morning, you tune us up. And then at 7 p.m., we will be returning on Tuesday evening from our Amigo trip. And we're going to do a special live presentation. Make sure Tuesday night, 7 p.m., you tune us up because we will be live from 22nd Street Landing with all the very latest and tune you up on exactly what's going on. We're not going to have Tackle Shop Confessions tonight on Monday night because we're going to be out at sea. So I apologize for that, but Tuesday night, 7 p.m. live and 7 a.m. in the morning, the Michael Folks presentation. That is going to be fantastic. Since we're not going to be doing Tackle Shop Confessions, I thought I'd tag on a previous Tackle Shop Confession show. In case you've never seen it before, we do that show live from Island Fishing Tackle in Carson, California with my dear friend Sam de la Torre. And it's a show that is designed to not only tell you about where the fish are biting and where your best opportunities are, but it's also an opportunity for you to say, hey, what kind of tackle do I need? And what does that tackle look like? Because Sam runs around the store and gathers up tackle that you're asking questions about and then shows it to you. It is a great show, Tackle Shop Confessions. And I'm going to offer an edition previous just so you can see what it's all about. All right, Tackle Shop Confessions, a previous show coming up next. Don't forget Tuesday morning, 7 a.m. right here. We're going to have Michael Folks. And then at 7 p.m., we'll have a live show. That's all tomorrow. Don't miss it. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. And I hope to see you really, really soon. Take care. Tackle Shop Confessions coming up next. Island Fishing Tackle in beautiful Carson, California. It is great to be here with my good friend Sam de la Torre.
Phil.
What the hell smells in here? What's going on?
I don't know. It's been kind of walking around that smell.
So Dan Lightfoot and his grandson Michael went fishing on the Freedom yesterday.
They got him.
I was like, God, did you guys take a friggin' shower after? It turns out, though, Dan took Michael over to a guy's place and they learned how to fillet fish, or actually Michael did.
That's cool.
So that's why they smell like old bluefin tuna or
Yeah.
whatever else you want to say they smell like.
You know, it reminds me
It's a
of
family
in
show.
the morning. You know, you go to the pier, that smell.
Yeah.
From the rail.
Yeah.
That's what it smells like.
Yeah, pretty awful, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, brutal. Whoa. Well, we got a lot to talk about. Ton of people already joining us. There's a bunch of comments up there. This bluefin tuna bite has not failed to kind of go like that on the full moon for several fulls now. So once you think you got it figured out, the next full, it's going to be wide open.
Wide open, yeah.
It's so weird. So we've got that to talk about. We'll talk about some great stuff going on down in Mexico. I got a message right when I was walking in. The San Diego 3/4 day boat out of Seaforth. I think he had 20-something yellows today and 10 bluefin. Those bluefin are actually at the Coronado Islands, Sam, like old day kind of fishing.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've kind of been over there a little bit this year, right?
Yeah, they have.
The 3/4 day boats have either gotten mixed in with the yellowtail or just outside of the Coronados that they've gotten into.
And Doug Rubin, you know Doug, he
Yeah.
chimes in here all the time.
Uh-huh.
Did you hear what happened with him
No.
in San Diego? So he's in a West Marine store, kind of, looking at a pretty Mexican girl. Says, "You're Paulina. I've seen you on Phil's show."
She was over there, huh?
Took her out to lunch with her mom
Oh,
and just
wow.
did a great job. There's something funny going on, those, because I mentioned this on Danny's show, and Doug was there, like, sending messages, and then just dead silent. I got a feeling his wife was sitting next to him. He's cussing me out right now. So anyway, he took him to the Marlin Club, and Paulina said he seemed like a really nice guy. I said, yeah, right. Seemed, just underline that. No, he is a good guy. So we had that going on. We got some surf fishing to talk about. What else, man? I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. Dave Dodge covered the Marlin area. I can bring everybody up to date on that.
Yeah.
Just way too much going on. And I see Rosie now. I don't know if she's just in my feed more, or I don't know, but man, great fishing at Cedros.
I mean, that place is just awesome, man. I mean, it really is, jig fishing paradise.
Sounds like you got a cold, by the way.
A little bit, yeah.
Stay away from me, will you, please? When we eat chicken wings tonight, sit next to Doug Tilk. He really wants to talk to you about how to use something. I don't know
That
why.
might have been a reason to have Michael here.
Where is Michael?
The smell would have blocked the germs.
What happened to Michael? You got insulted too much about smelling like a fish?
I told him he had to sit over there.
Oh, you did get rid of him?
Too much, man. Yeah.
I figured your nose was so clogged up.
That's what I thought for sure.
Yeah, it went right through it, penetrated your. Michael, we're very sorry about that tonight, but we'll. I don't know. We won't invite him back. Are you going to sit next to him at the chicken place?
I'll try.
No, you're not. That'll ruin your appetite. You want to read a couple of comments?
Yeah.
How about Kim Herbert from Missouri joining us tonight? Good evening, Sam and Phil. I inherited some older CalStar rods from my mother-in-law. They have short lengths from the reel seat to the butt. Can an extension be added to them? She was 5'4" and I'm 6'6".
Yeah, definitely. Depending on the rod itself and maybe how it was put together, like if it has a gimbal or something like that on there, which we can take off as well. So it just depends on what's on there as far as what we'd have to do to extend it. But yeah, it's not too hard of a process. The difficult part of it, I guess, is really trying to find a blank or a piece of a blank that would fit in to the back of that rod, and depending on how long you wanted it to make the extension. It sounds to me like it'd probably be quite a bit, maybe 6 or 8 inches or something like that. But that all depends. So, the best thing I can tell you is to send him down here. I know you're out of the area, right? He's in
Missouri, I believe. Yeah.
So if that stuff's over there, then try to ship it here, I guess, and we could take a look at it. Or if it's somewhere,
he's going to be here for a 2.5-day trip out of San Diego, back-to-back 2.5s in October. So maybe.
Yeah, if he brings it down, we could definitely take a look. It's doable for sure. It's just a matter of how we're going to get it done.
Yeah, right on. And then he has a second question. What reel seat adapter do you recommend for deckhand rods to mount reels without being able to use a clamp?
Well, I'm not sure how you would mount it on a deckhand rod without a clamp. But maybe what you mean is maybe a different type of aftermarket clamp. I mean, the Tiburon and are the most popular ones. There's also the ones from Duran's Fishing Products. He makes some nice ones too, as far as a clamp. But I'm not really sure as what you exactly mean by a reel seat adapter. If it doesn't have a reel seat on it already, then you're going to have to use some type of clamp with that.
All right, very good. Steve Knives, my buddy Steve. Good evening, gentlemen. Yes, I'm including you in that statement, Phil. Steve, I love you. I really do. James Blanchard says, graduation Michael on the tuna. How many pounds? What was his biggest fish on that trip, Dan, would you say, if you had to guess?
Probably about 27, 28 pounds.
27, 28 pounds. So Michael hooked 8 and landed 5.
Wow, that's a good
Was that
day.
by himself?
Yep.
All by himself.
That's awesome.
Because of the tutelage and love of his adoring grandfather, who smells like an old rotten bluefin tuna today. So really great stuff. I tell you, Chris, there's nothing like it. How are you over there, man? Are you going to stuff some toilet paper in your nose or something?
Oh, no. It's like a big nose, it doesn't work.
All right, James, it's been way too long since I've seen you. I think I'm going to see you on our 8-day trip on the Independence. I saw I saw Mark Paisano, not Paul Strasser, down at the landing a second ago. It was good to see him. And tomorrow we'll have an interview. Guy comes in here all the time. Jerry Wade. He works
Yeah.
at 22nd Street.
Yeah, he's in here all the time.
I did. He mentioned that in the podcast I did with him. Great interview with him. He's so enthusiastic
Yeah.
about fishing.
He's a good dude, man.
He really
Yeah,
and
yeah.
truly is. 10 grandkids.
Mhm.
And anyway, that'll run tomorrow, everybody. We did a great, excellent podcast with him, and you'll have that tomorrow. All right. Friedman Adventures says, almost go. Oh, that's me. I
Yeah.
don't need to read my own comments. Yeah. So, Cal, Drew, who smelt it? Delete it, Phil? Is that what
Dealt
it says?
it.
Dealt it, Phil.
Whoever smelt it, dealt it.
Oh, yes. Let me read that again because I'm a moron. Who smelt it, dealt it, Phil.
If
You
smelt
smelt it,
dealt
didn't you?
Yeah.
Who smelt it first? Oh, look at Doug Tilt. He might have smelled it.
The other side of it is if you denied it, you applied it.
There you are. Actually, SoCal Drew, it was not a smelt. It was a bluefin tuna.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Tyler Tanaka. Good evening. Live from Carson, California. It's time for Tackle Shop Confessions, who did a great
I saw you
intro.
got a couple guys that sent in
Yeah.
some. That was pretty cool.
Thanks to you and
Yeah, that was
Tyler,
pretty cool,
man. Way
yeah.
to go, boys.
Started something there.
Keep those coming. Morning briefing intros are great.
Hey, good morning. Yes, Island Tackle Charter, Cedros Island.
What time is it, Tyler?
Hey, coming to you live from Cedros Island. Phil, it's Sam De La Torre and Tyler Tanaka. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Yeah, that's how.
Get him, baby, get him.
And face too much. Down south, period, has been dream fishing this year. If he's talking about that local freaking bite and the Coronado Islands, I know that's what you're talking about. It's been spectacular. It really has been great.
That's the kind of stuff we've been kind of waiting for some of that yellowtail to come up our way, but I know that the Coronados is, it's always decent fishing for sure, but it's definitely been more up and down the last couple of years.
Yeah.
This year's been on for
Just
sure.
consistent.
About
like
as good as it gets.
Mission Bell, every trip, 80, 100 plus yellow.
Nice ones too at times.
Yeah.
I mean, Coronados is kind of known for having, a lot of areas where it's crowded, a lot of private boaters, a lot of sea lions, just tough conditions. Fish there, but tough conditions this year. Those boats have been getting them. It's been really, really good. Surface iron fishing's good too. And then the tuna fishing on top of it. So it's been great. Really, really good.
Doug Rubin with a message for Paulina. Paulina, I always shower after I fillet bluefin tuna. You won't have to worry about me. All right, Tyler Tanaka. Hey, Sam, in your opinion, what is the best and easiest casting braid, brand, and weight for a Tranx 500? Use a 9-foot jig stick, surface iron, and stick baits on a 3-inch short mono leader.
3 foot, yeah.
3 foot short mono leader.
So
3 inches, a little short.
Yeah. I think a lot of guys have gone through a lot of different kinds of braid. From what I've seen, just as far as guys that are casting braid in general, that Power Pro 80 pound is probably going to be what most of the guys are trying. I just picked up some of that Suffix 832 in 80 pound. Some of the local guys, that private boater guys, have been telling me about it, so I'm going to give it a shot on my Trinidad 20. But most common, from what I see on that reel, is going to be 80 pound Power Pro.
All right, there you go. Good question, Tyler. Appreciate it. Sniper Gene, thanks for joining us, my friend. Good evening, gentlemen. Sam, I'm looking for either a Corrado DC 200 or Tranx 200 for an inshore outfit. Any reason to have the benefit of the DC on the Corrado and get the Tranx instead?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Those are both really, really good reels. That DC in particular would be good if you're going to be throwing maybe some crankbaits or just hard baits in general, something that just the size to weight ratio isn't that good. Your jerk baits and things like that. Casting with that DC is pretty nice. It's not impossible with the 200 Tranx though. It does cast pretty good as well. I would consider the Tranx 200 kind of be more of a power reel, something that if you wanted to throw larger baits, larger lead heads, things like that, and something that is going to be targeting bigger fish. But that Corrado DC, if you've never tried one, any other DC reels all the way from the SLX on up, that cast control that they have on that thing is pretty dynamite. But it would really kind of only apply if you're throwing either some super lightweight stuff or maybe just some challenging condition with some kind of shifty winds or things like that. But so it really kind of depends on overall what you're going to be doing with that reel.
Hey, I was working out at the Orange County Fair this weekend, and this guy walks up. Hey, did you see me post this? Or
I didn't.
walks up and he goes, do you know who I am? And I go, you look familiar, but I'm sorry. And he's going, really? You're breaking my heart. And I go, Pedro, I forget his last name now. I'm blown.
Now
And he goes, no, it's Pablo Pena. I said Pedro Pena. He goes, Pablo Pena. He's the guy that watched the Mark Paisano and then called me and says, I know Desiree. So I had a great time with him. It was early enough and really, really good. So I got to see Pablo Pena.
The biggest
again.
post you've had.
I know, and I couldn't remember.
History.
I haven't seen him for 10 years, man, or whatever. I fished with that guy one time 10 years ago.
Wow.
And then he called me after that. So
you're never going to forget him anymore.
You got that right, man. This is not a translator. I'm going to let her introduce herself to you.
I'm Desiree.
Oh my God. Holy shit. Yeah, this is I'm so happy. Oh my God. Phil, how the hell did you do this?
So happy. That is for sure. Isaac joins us, says, good evening, gentlemen. Look, Steve, there's another guy calling us gentlemen. Steve is back, and he wants to know, if he put a few numbers in this, I wouldn't read it, but can you share any info about the CCA LA BBQ? About the CCA LA barbecue. Knowing Steve, he probably wants to know what's on the menu, and that's about it. That was a good one, wasn't it?
There, yeah.
Yeah. Got you, Steve.
So November 10th is going to be the date for that at the Compton Rod and Gun Club. I know that on the CCA California website, they do have a link there where you can buy a ticket for it. You know, I don't know off the top of my head, but I think normally they're like $75 a ticket, and that includes your entry to the event. It includes a meal. They have it's actually really, really good barbecue.
Yeah, it's totally good.
Really, really good barbecue. Yeah. And then that also includes, I believe, a year's membership as well to CCA. So
it's a win-win-win-win.
Yeah, it's a pretty good deal. And as far as the event itself, there's a couple of different events that are going on there. There's like actually a casting golf event, which last year was kind of the first time they did it, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So they had these targets, and you would cast a rod towards them, and you're playing in a foursome, just like golf, and it was a lot of fun. So I think this year they're going to do that again. They have a whole bunch of live auctions, silent auctions, raffles, and that's something that everybody participates in. Last year we got even a rod from CalStar that ended up being kind of like the belle of the ball. It went for $1,000.
Yeah.
It was a super, super special, hard to get rod. In fact, it was a one of a kind. And so we're going to try to bring things in like that. I know there's some seminars as well. I think Michael Folks is going to be doing a seminar.
Oh, great.
On his series.
That's awesome.
Which I'm kind of looking forward to that. I mean, that project, for the guys that are aware of that project, I mean, that's pretty awesome and kind of, special to us here in Southern California.
Absolutely.
The history of sport fishing down here. So he's going to be the seminar guy there. And I think, Phil, you agreed to do.
They have a great MC coming, right?
Yeah. So he's going to be going down there and at least doing the raffles and the live auctions and getting people fired up on that. But for you guys that haven't ever heard of CCA or the event, it's basically a fundraising event for CCA California. And for you guys that don't know what CCA does, CCA is our kind of our guys that go up to Sacramento and fight for our rights to fish. There's a lot of things out there that are still kind of going on. The 30-30 ban. I know last year, or was it 2 years ago, they still had to deal with things like sardines and tuna. They were going to basically outlaw the fishing of sardines and tuna. So, I mean, with the kind of tuna fishing that we've had the last couple of years, and just fishing in general, to have lost sardines would have been a huge deal. So they went up there and kind of, showed our side of it and kind of showed that kind of wasn't the best approach to what they were doing. And then even in the future, I know that the rockfish thing is an ongoing kind of back and forth. And so these are the types of things that allow us to kind of have a voice in those conversations.
Yeah, good stuff. And Steve Nice put, if there's a foursome, I'll be there. That's what he said. You mentioned a foursome, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's in on that kind of weird stuff. All right, Steve. Martin M. Hey, guys, when surface iron fishing on a sport boat, do you have a particular jig you prefer when on the anchor as opposed to on the drift? Great question. Good question, Martin.
No, not really. As far as a specific jig for either or, the one thing that you might think about is that if you are drifting real fast, is that now the boat is going to be part of your current, so to speak. So if the boat's drifting real fast, let's say in this direction, and you were to cast behind it, and when you go to wind it back to the boat, you're going to be winding your speed plus the speed of the boat. So that may increase your speed quite a bit. So you might have to slow it down. Whereas if you cast in front of it and cast and wind it back to the boat, now you're kind of winding towards the boat and the boat's going towards your lure. You're going to probably have to speed it up. And so that's kind of something to keep mind of. Sometimes when you're fishing, you may not kind of like see that too much. And sometimes even the boat might kind of shift around a little bit as it's drifting down. And so you may have to kind of make adjustments for that. But that'd probably be the only thing I would do differently from one to the other. And even on the anchor, you might find that there's a current that's going in one direction, and that's going to change your winding speed. So if you're casting down current and winding against the current, you're going to want to slow down your jig. And then obviously the opposite would be if you're casting up current and winding with the current, you might have to speed up your jig. And that's all based on the amount of water that's actually washing over your jig. That's what's going to make your jig swim. So you want to keep that as consistent as possible.
All right, very good. Let's see. We've got Andrew H. Any lure suggestions for fishing from the beach down the East Cape? I love crocodiles, something shiny like that. What do you like?
Yeah, I mean,
works great.
metal jigs, any kind of metal jigs like that. A crocodile obviously is a kind of a classic, but any of those cold snipers, Akana style jigs are going to work just fine. And then you get into your stick baits and poppers, stuff that you would kind of maybe see more for tuna fishing, and a little bit larger size, 6 to 8 inch, 9 inch, something, even some stuff like that works down there as well. Obviously, if you're taking a trip, with your family, you can't take a whole tackle box full of stuff down there. So some of the metal jigs make it easier to transport just a good amount of tackle in a small bag. But all that stuff will work.
Sam, I mean, I almost like look forward to the Ponga going back in, even though you had a great day out on the water, because take a little nap. And then for that sundown walk down the beach with a rod and just make a cast, and oh man, jack or a Sierra mackerel or a rooster, or so much fun. And it's so freaking beautiful down there.
Yeah.
Hope you have a really great trip, Andrew. Isaac, Inland Empire CCA event at the Top Golf in Ontario, Saturday, October 1st.
Yeah, look that up too. That's a pretty cool event too for you guys that are into the golf thing, but that Top Golf is kind of like a golf thing, but it's almost like a bowling thing. You can go up there. If you don't golf, it's still a lot of fun, and obviously supporting CCA. So look into that. I'm sure they'll have that on the CCA California website as well.
All right, excellent stuff. I do see Doug Tilk looking over that way. I think he's concerned about you throwing Michael off, and he wants to make sure Michael's not crying or anything. He keeps looking over there, and unless he's just like, oh my God, what in the hell smells in here? Yeah, it is that.
Like, there's no way he could smell that much. Yeah.
He wants to throw him out now. All right, good stuff. Doug Tilk. Charles Zimmer from the Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club. Once again, Sam, thanks for having cool stuff at your shop to buy. Came in for hooks and left with a wrapper head.
Yeah.
So he's doing great work. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
He's really awesome at that.
You could tell that that's something that he probably would be good at making all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I knew it. He wrapped her up for Paulina.
Okay.
That I'm going to take down. It's beautiful. Hey, this guy, I'm wearing his hat, Diode Dynamics. He does LED lighting, mostly for off-road vehicles and stuff.
Okay.
So I know Chuck does a lot of that. So Chuck, when you need some LED lighting, let me know. I'm sure you can do that on your boat also. But he's a big fan and said, can you wear my shirt on the morning briefing? I said, yeah, no problem. So there you are. All right. Halibut Man, I was supposed to win that CCA Parker. Do we know who won that? Do you know offhand?
I don't remember his name, but
do you know if he had a ton of tickets in or only one ticket?
Or a ton, like average amount.
Yeah, okay.
But I remember they were talking about it and that there was a couple of guys who had a lot of tickets in there.
Yeah, right.
And they won some prizes too, but they didn't win the boat. So
yeah, and it is kind of true that like when I do a raffle, the guy that has $200 in there, he's just like winning and winning. So I mean that's part of the thing, and I'm sure that great raffle is just going to grow and grow and grow in the future. Right. Good stuff. Halibut Man wants to know where Michael Limon is. I'm going to let you tell him. Go ahead.
Just follow your nose, man.
Easy to find him?
Yeah.
It's kind of a toss-up between Grandpa and... I hope canine dogs don't sniff him on the way home. God knows what they're going to do. They're going to be howling, probably. All right. Michael got thrown off for stinking like a bluefin tuna. Sorry, Mitchell. Steve Nyes. Is Phil the M-Sing? They will have to pay people to come to the barbecue.
If Phil is emceeing, yeah.
Yes. Good stuff. I have to admit, Steve. Steve, Lay off the barbecue this year. We have to feed several people. AKA the Saku is Isaac. Sam, do you have any Gamakatsu Nautilus size cuatro?
Let me see.
Tamaño cuatro. And Sam is looking right now. A reminder, the morning briefing tomorrow morning with all the very, very latest. Also, we'll be on board the Apollo for 2 days. We'll be shooting a video of the action out there on Tannerbeck if that's where we end up. I know the Pacific Voyager, I think, went south and had 110 yellows for 11 guys the other day. I'm very curious about that. And Sam now is back with your answer.
So yeah, we got them in both the ring and non-ring, and actually we just got stocked up late last week, so we got pretty good stock on it.
All right, good stuff. Is that the go-to hook right now, or what? Is that
It has been a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, it'll fish good 25, 30-pound test, which has been kind of the main size. It's a little smaller wire than the owner. The owner's still probably the number one hook just because it's been around longer and it's a solid hook. And in case you hook a big one, it is a little bit stronger hook. But that Gamakatsu has been kind of the stealth hook. So the guys that are on those bites where they're not wide open and they're only getting one fish every 20 minutes or something like that, that's where that Nautilus hook would come into play.
Is it equivalent to the owner hybrid circle hook?
So Chris was asking if it was equivalent to the owner hybrid. It actually falls right in between. It'll fall in between a hybrid and a regular Mutu. So it's a little bit, as far as thickness or strength, it'll fall in between those two. Definitely stronger than the hybrid, but not as strong as the regular Mutu.
All right, good question. Isaac, Manila ice cream. Funny story. Buddies out this weekend on the Constitution and Horizon had a guy lose a brand new rod and reel. Rookie mistake. You ever had that happen to you?
It's not that funny.
No, it's not really. It's like $1,000, right?
Yeah,
At
it
least.
happens. It's never happened to me, fortunately.
Yeah,
but I have seen it happen.
I've seen it happen a lot of times. Yeah,
it's the worst. It's a shock.
it is.
I
It's
mean,
like,
'cause
did
you're
that
like,
just
I
happen?
can't believe that just happened. Yeah,
No, right. Exactly.
And I've heard of guys jumping in the water after them. I haven't seen that, but where guys are jumping in the water
Yeah.
after them and they get it.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I know. So I don't know. At that moment, I'm pretty sure you get that feeling of like, I can get it. You know, if I could you just got to react, you know, but I don't know if I would. Oh, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Some of those, like, Ryan Block or one of those guys,
Oh,
I can
yeah.
see him, diving in with a knife between his teeth and
yeah.
doing whatever it takes to get it. I can tell you, Pat Whitaker, he dropped a rod over at Catalina and then pulled his anchor and it was on the anchor.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's luck right there.
And then Bob Alvarez, when we were down in Ensenada, I'll never forget that, man. He just dropped his jig back to troll and it just went flying out of his hands. A lot of times, too, you'll see a guy with barracuda slime or something throwing a jig and it goes flying. So, yeah, that is a costly mistake. And some people would think it's funny, like Manila ice cream.
Maybe it's his friend or something like that.
Yeah, I'm
could've
with
been,
you,
yeah.
Manila ice cream. That's funny stuff, man. Joe Patino, is that my Joe Patino? This guy's a great serviceman in our armed forces. He's a wonderful guy. He's the guy who did my Friedman Adventures wood carving. Do I have the right Joe here? Hello, sir. Probably with that. He's such a respectful, great guy. What is the name of your shop? I'd love to come by and check it out. Coming up from Oceanside. Sounds like my Joe Patino, whom I love. Joe, it's good to see you. Hope you and your family are doing great. Sam?
So we're Island Fishing Tackle in Carson, California. We are just off the 405 between the 710 and the 110. So up here in Carson, the South Bay area. Address is 21809 Avalon Boulevard. We're open Monday through Saturday from 10 to 6.
Joe, don't you dare come up here without letting me know. Please, I would love to see you and spend some time with you. Maybe you, me, and Sam, and whoever else around here, go get a chicken wing. Thank you for your service, my friend. We really appreciate you very much. Kim Herbert, been there when the trolling straps broke.
Oh,
Ouch.
man.
Now that really...
That I've never seen, but
yeah,
that
who's paying for that one?
I don't know if it's the boats. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, you would think, you know.
Yeah,
But
ouch.
I haven't seen that too often though.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I've never seen that. Never even heard of that.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, but that's a good one too,
Did
man.
the drag be set too tight for that to happen?
Yeah, it could be. Could have been the drag set too tight, but it's still, man. Those things are, that webbing material.
Yeah.
It's super strong.
Yeah. Bless you. Live free, die free. Evening Phil and Sam sitting in Fort Bragg. Weather looking good. Hopefully heading out tomorrow morning. Live free, die free. Best of luck to you. And we're looking forward to some great and awesome updates. There's been bluefin tuna up there near San Francisco. Big bluefin tuna, foamers of bluefin tuna. Also around that Fort Bragg area, there's been albacore and bluefin. Wishing you the best of luck. Can't wait to get those updates from you. Michael Schmidt says, saw a guy trip and lose. There's a whole show we can do on this.
You could.
Trip and lose a brand new setup over the rail on Tanner earlier this season, and someone at the end of the day got it with a yo-yo and pulled it up. Think we were on the Amigo. Michael, that is a friggin' awesome. That's a good one, Sam.
I've heard of that too before.
Yeah,
where
me
a guy
too.
Snagged the line. And
Yeah.
You have it there at the end there, so it's
But-
pretty cool. But not too
yeah.
often though.
Yeah, and the same very day. I mean, maybe later somebody snags that thing, but that is freaking incredible. Chuck Zimmer is back with us again. Sam, can you fit Michael for a rod? Probably a 30-pound stick. One exception is Michael has to help me build it. If anyone wants to pitch in on it, we can get him hooked up. That sounds great, man. You're going to have to hook him up with a blank, and then
Yeah.
he's going to go over to Chuck. I'm going to film the whole process, Chuck, right? You were thinking about that? Well, look at that. Chuck Zimmer, man. There you
got
go.
$50 on it already.
There you go. Do you think you're going to get that from me? You're crazy.
You have to talk to
That's
Chuck
going to
on
the
that.
chicken wings. Chuck, you're going to have to send another one some other way. I'm only kidding you. So, yeah, that sounds great, right? And I'll film the whole process, and that would be really cool.
Does he have to take a shower first? Or?
You damn right he
Yeah.
does. I think he should take one before he. Do you have anything in the bathroom that he can
I don't.
do in there? All right. Joe Patino's back, says, thank you, sir. Yes, Phil, we'll link up. Joe, really miss you, man. We had some really, really cool times together. Kim Herbert, trolling straps, brass hooks,
bro.
broke.
Wow.
Steve Nye, Sam, tell everyone about that lobster gear in the shop. Man, without Steve, this show would suck.
We're lucky to have that.
Yeah,
guy.
I
He's a
know.
good dude.
Jeez.
So yeah, we just got loaded up here on Friday. Promar dropped off a whole bunch of stuff down there. Maybe at the end of the show we'll kind of film it over there. It's still in boxes, so it hasn't been not on display, but everything you need for this year's lobster season, we got everything there. We got the nets, we got the ropes, the floats, the cages, everything you need.
All right, good stuff. When's that open up?
Next week.
Are you okay? If you need to end the show early, we can do that. Hang in there for a little bit longer.
Only
Yeah.
got one more question or two left here.
Oh, you want to end it already? Yeah, he's sick, everybody. We might have to do that. Hey, Mackey's bringing out some of the lobster stuff that Sam has down here. Promar, Ahi, great company, even though Steve is part of it. Steve Oropesa, you know? Steve, we love you.
Maybe he's not part of this part of it.
Oh, good. Thank God. Then just load up on this stuff. Come on down here because Steve Oropesa has nothing to do with it. Thank God. No, we love Steve. He's a great guy. All right. Perfect. Let's see. Who else is throwing money our way? Oh, AKA the Sack just sent $20. Chuck sent $20.
Yeah.
We can actually eat something tonight. Man, Michael.
He doesn't
Michael, you're up to 2 chicken wings.
he doesn't even have to eat all the meat off the wings now.
Well, yeah, you don't have to do that anymore. You can just be as wasteful as you want. Hey, Tyler Tanaka sends $10. NyQuil for Sam. Wings for Phil. Sam, inventory check. Do you have JR14s in blue and white and mint in stock?
Tyler, we do. We actually just got a shipment of the number 4 in the new mint. JRI has a newer, nicer mint,
Yeah.
and I know the guys were waiting for that. In fact, I got to get a hold of Reggie to get him his. He wants 6 of them. Reggie, when he was on the trip with us, and
Oh,
that's
yeah, I
his
remember
favorite
that.
jig. So he said, as soon as you get them in, send me 6 of those. So I got to get those up there to him too. So yeah, we got those in stock. All those JRI4s, we're ready to go.
All right, everybody. We're going to end our show a little bit early tonight, but we'll keep going as long as there's questions up here, so keep them coming. No, just kidding. And Sam's feeling a little under the weather. I'll bet he's not feeling so under the weather that he's not going for chicken wings tonight. Am I right?
We can try.
You know, it's like chicken
I don't know
soup.
if I'll make it. Yeah, it
Chicken
could be.
soup
In
kills
fact,
you.
if they
So
have some soup up there, that's probably what
there
I'll
you are,
eat.
chicken
Yeah.
wings too with
Yeah,
chicken
yeah.
soup. You're going to be fine. Does Promar offer a heavy hoop?
They do. They actually have about 4 different weight levels, I guess. So they have an XL, XLH, XLHD, and then I think that's it right there. So the heaviest one is you almost have to have a puller for it, like a electric puller. You can't pull it up by hand. The H is the one that most people get, and what that does is that you don't have to put extra weight. Normally on a hoop net, the standard ones, Especially if you have a little bit of current, you need to put some weight on the bottom ring so that they go straight down and they don't get dragged across the bottom with that current down on the bottom. So most guys get that H, the XLH, which is heavy enough and still light enough that you can still pull it by hand.
All right, excellent stuff, man. I'm gonna have to come on here and I don't know, do whatever to do.
something.
Look at all the money rolling in here. I actually might be able to keep doing this. Let's see. Oh, your mother. Oh no, it's not your mother. It's Isaac. He says get some rest.
Yeah,
Yes, that was something your mother would say usually. But Isaac, you're a very wonderful person for thinking that way. Jake, good to see you. Thanks for being here, my friend. Great show as always. Sam, for the Tanner Cortez Banks fishing right now, what would be a good Shimano CalStar combinación, señor?
So if you're gonna go with the glass, I'd go with the 278H. It's something like a Torium 16 or even a 2-speed. You just never know. Most of those fish are going to be in that 15 to 30 pound range, but there's enough of those 40, 50 pounders that you still kind of want to take something a little bit bigger just in case. And that yellowfin that kind of has been popping up here and there has been a nicer size too. So for that 25-pound test, I would recommend something like that, like a 278H or an 800M. And then on the reel, anything in that medium size reel, like a Talica 12 or a Fathom 15, Fathom 25 narrow 2-speed, something like in that kind of size range. 65-pound braid, and your Top Shot 25-pound test on that. You can use the same reel with a little bit heavier rod, maybe like an 800H, fish up to 40 or 6480, and so that would kind of give you the range. Same reel. Just because you never know, but you could drop the reel size down a little bit if you wanted. It's kind of more of an Italica 10 size or the Fathom 15 size for the smaller. If you're going to want to do more of a finesse style rig.
If you really care about Sam and you hope that he heals, hit that like button, please. That will make him feel so much better. That and getting the hell off the air, right?
We also are going to have now that I remember it here is. I got to talk to Steve again just to make sure that it is going to be the date. But I think on the 4th or the 3rd, next weekend, basically, not this weekend coming up, but the following weekend, we're going to have a lobster hooping seminar. I believe it was the 4th.
Who's doing it?
Promars.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When is it?
I believe it's going to be the 4th. The 4th or the 5th. It'll be next weekend. They're supposed to be putting
I'll come down and film it.
Yeah, good. That'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be putting out a deal on that coming up here. They're going to schedule a guy to do it.
Oh, it's not Steve?
It could be.
Well, let me know because if it's not Steve, I'll be here. Yeah. He's going to kill me.
I'll have to ask Steve. Yeah.
He's going to love all this. All right, good stuff. Let's move ahead here with Tyler.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tyler says he wants some of those mint lures. Sam, let him know. He'll call you tomorrow for both the original mint and the new mint. Sniper Gene, how does the JR14 or JRI, what is it?
JRI4.
Differ from the Tatty 45?
So the 4 is a much bigger jig. It'd be almost like a Tatty 77 if you wanted to compare it to a Tatty. So it's a similar shape, I guess you can call it. Which most jigs are, but it's definitely a larger size. Down there at Cedros, you're throwing, heavy line with usually a little bit heavier rod, and you could throw a heavy jig if you wanted. I personally was just throwing a 7X and a 45, was doing pretty good with that, but I know a lot of guys down there with that 4 is something it'll make a good long cast, and it's just easy to cast. Even if you have any kind of wind, it'll shoot right through the wind, and they're a good swimming jig too, so it's a little bit larger jig there. That's the biggest thing.
Okay, very good.
Grab one.
Matthew, he's going to grab one of those. Matthew Martin, great show. Phil, do you have a fish report from your private charter trips in the harbor? Thanks, Matt. I haven't been out on one of those, Matt, for a little while. I don't know. Steve Oropez is the guy that I do that with, by the way. That's why I kid with him so much. I'll check on that and see if I can have something on the morning briefing for you tomorrow. Sam's got the jigs now, and he's going to show those off to you.
So this is the number 4. It's almost like a large Starman 112, candy bar 112, where the 45 is just, your standard 45. And so you could see it's almost a whole inch bigger, and it's definitely wider. It's going to be wider here. And so and it's heavier for sure. So it's just a bigger jig.
Is that machine?
No, these are also cast.
All right, good stuff. Thank you, Sam, for running over and doing that. Mario N. Hey, Mario, what's happening, my friend? What is the rock cod depth now? Hard to keep up. Can we fish deeper than 350?
What
Can't
is
fish.
it?
You can't fish over 300 now, and pretty soon you can't fish under
Under,
300, which is October 1st, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that change is coming up here.
Yeah. So it's coming up, Mario. You're going to be fishing the deep water stuff here really, really soon. Steve Nyes, keeping this show going, man. Right when Sam wants to get out of here, Steve just keeps asking questions. He loves you. Sam, any Tanacom 500s in stock since the rockfish regs, perfect question, at the right time,
Yeah.
are switching to deep water only at the 1st of October?
Yeah, so Steve would know this year. He actually is the guy who checked them in, but we do still have a couple of those Tanacom 500s. They have a new one, the new version, which we just got in. It's the Tanacom 500J, and then I believe, got two of the old ones in, but I think they're a similar price, they're around $600. And so if you want to check them out, we have them both here. Let me go grab one.
All right, Sam's going to run and get that. Reminder, morning briefing tomorrow. Also, a great podcast we did today with Jerry Wade from 22nd Street Landing. Jerry's a great guy. You'll see him if you go in there in the evenings to 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California, and that will air tomorrow. So here's Sam.
So yeah, it's that Tanacom 500J. This is the new one from them. Looks awful similar to another reel I put line on a little bit ago, but it is different.
That's a really beautiful reel.
It's actually nice looking, huh?
Yeah.
So part of the change too is that they went to this new style of body, which you're going to see that they look totally different than the old Tanacoms. I know that they have a little bit heavier duty winding motor. The rest of it is similar. I know they have some other features here. I'm not 100% well versed in this specific model, but it is a newer model. So for you guys that are interested in that, rock cod fishing, we got them here.
All right. Thank you so much. Excellent question. Thank you so much, Steve. Tim Marquez. Tax problems? Give Tim Marquez a call. He's a great guy. Tim, great to see you, my friend. Hey, all. Steve Nyes, wishing you well with your upcoming knee procedure.
Yeah.
See you when you get back.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been picking on Steve, and he has an upcoming surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I just feel like crap.
You can send him some wings.
Steve, from the bottom of my heart, I'm totally joking. I could care less. No, I wish you the best in your surgery and hope you do well, my friend. Really good. Thank you for pointing that out, Tim. Ken Trenholm. Hello, Friedman Adventures family. Can't wait to see everybody on the Apollo tomorrow. Phil, my mom says hello. Ken, that's going to be a lot of fun. Ken has some snack for me, some carnivore snack, I think. So I'm looking forward to that. Uh-oh, Sam's running off. I think the smell got to him again. No, Sam read Tyler Tanaka's next question. JR14 is 7 and 4 ounces, very close to the Starman 112.
It's definitely a bit similar shape, but it's still bigger. It's heavier for sure. I mean, I can feel it just in my hand. It's definitely a heavier jig, but it's still a little bit bigger. If you were to put them nose to nose, doesn't seem like much, but when you're casting a jig, even an ounce, you're going to feel that through the rod. So it is more similar to a Starman 112, but even still, it's a little bit longer, a little bit wider.
I have a question to go along with this. You have those new Chatty 40 lights. What's the difference between that and a Chatty 45?
Excellent question.
So Chris has a question about the 40 light. The 40 light's a smaller jig, smaller than the 45. Let me go grab that.
Poor Sam. You guys are running this poor man.
Anything else you want to
who's
know
got
about here
COVID,
while I'm over here?
or whatever he's got.
Smaller in the 500 gram.
You're running this poor man ragged. Chris.
So here's the 40 light here. So this is a smaller jig, even smaller than the 45. Probably more closer to like a Tatty C. Different profile here. It's got this flat spot on the top, so that's going to give it a different swimming action. Flat back. He mentioned it's more like a 7X. It probably has some of that feature because it has that flat top to it, but definitely not exactly like a 7X. Probably in between a 7X Junior and a 7X, if you wanted to compare it to those.
All right, good stuff. Kim Herbert wants to know, is there a cardboard fill for when he's in Florida? Heck no, man. We're going to hook up on a remote. I'm going to be in Florida. You're going to be here.
When?
We're going to have a fun when I go to Florida.
When is that?
October
Oh,
14th.
I'm gone that weekend.
You are to October 28th.
The whole weekend.
Yeah. Oh, that's 2 weeks. All right. Yeah. Kim, we're going to make that happen. That'll be really fun. Steve Nyes, thank you, Tim Marquez, for your love and care and kindness and thinking about my knee surgery coming up. We love you. Thank you, Steve. Is that good enough? I added a little bit to it.
I was
But
listening. What'd you say?
I don't know. I'm not going to repeat it. All right. 74 shipwreck. We're only going to answer this question if you tell us where you're at. I'm just kidding you. 74 shipwreck evening, guys. What tackle shop are we at this fine SoCal evening? Sam,
The one and only
the one and only.
Island Fishing Tackle in Carson, California. 21809 Avalon Boulevard, City of Carson. Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6.
What's that phone number, Sam?
310-707-1205.
All right, very good. 74 shipwreck. I hope that's nearby. If it's not, it's worth the drive. Mario N, on average, how much lead is needed to get down 500? How much lead? How much lead is needed? How much do you have to lead to get down to 500
A
feet?
little British there, huh?
Yeah, really. Yeah, really. I'm doing the British read. How much lead is
I don't know,
needed?
what do you think? You're the veteran rock cutter.
500. I would say
At least 16
At least
ounces.
a pound.
At least 16 ounces.
Yeah.
You,
At
minimum.
2, you'd be really styling.
So one of the things that you want to kind of factor into this is using skinnier line.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you have a reel right now, let's say you have a 4.0 or whatever, larger reel, and you have, let's say, 40-pound mono, which would, be a rock cod sized line, 30 or 40-pound mono, you might want to switch to braid. 50-pound would probably be about the max that I would put on a reel, and you can go with even lighter, but 50-pound is pretty good. It's nice and skinny, and what that's going to do is that's going to allow you to not necessarily get down faster, but it's going to allow you to stay vertical and not get scoped out so easily. But even then, there's times where if you're drifting real fast, the wind's blowing, you're going to need 2 pounds, but that's not what we want to hear. We want to hear that it's 8 ounces and easy to get down, but the reality is 16 ounces. We saw a lot of 16-ounce sinkers because you want to be vertical. That's one of the keys to rock cod fishing is staying stuck to the bottom.
Yeah, 100%, man. All right, good stuff, Mario. And any slow pitch jigs you recommend for deep rock cod?
Once again, it's going to be really more of a weight thing. We have any of those jigs that you see online or in our shop that are kind of what we're using for tuna. They're actually really more designed for rock cod fishing or structure type fishing. And so any of those jigs will work. They all have a little bit different swimming action or flutters or things like that. But when you start talking more than 500 feet, you're going to be into the at least 300 grams or more into like 400 to 500 grams. I think 500 grams is like 19 ounces or something like that. And so once again, that's also you're going to want to pair that with some lighter line. A lot of times guys will have a reel like let's say a Italica 16 or something like that, and they have 80-pound braid. And you think, well, that'll work. I'll just use that rod, because it's going to be a heavy weight. Well, that heavy braid or the thicker braid is going to make it harder for that lure to stay vertical. So pick a smaller reel that has lighter line. If you got something that you normally fly line with, and let's say you got 400 yards of 50-pound braid or something like that, or 500 yards of 50-pound braid, or even skinnier braid, that's going to be what I would recommend to use for that knife jig kind of stuff, for that slow pitch stuff.
All right, very good. Steve Nyes wants to know, Sam, with trout fishing coming upon us in November, do you have any 2-piece rods, 6 to 7 feet?
We are loaded.
I wonder if you have it.
We are loaded. And everything from your $20 rod all the way up to, $200 rod or more. So wherever you kind of want to slide in, if you want to get something that's, entry-level style thing or something for your kids, or let's say you've already done it for a few seasons and you're ready to kind of step it up to something a little bit more expensive, we got some of those too. So we're pretty well stocked at this moment. I know we have to kind of restock on a few of the terminal items, maybe some more power bait and things like that, but we're looking pretty good on the rods and reels.
All right, very good. Sacco Hunt says 16 ounces, I'm thinking, right?
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah. All right, 74 Shipwreck, who asked where your store was. It's great to have you with us. I'm in Irvine, but I'll make the drive. No worries. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate the constant information. We appreciate you being here. Thank you so very much. Steve Nyes. Phil, the more questions I ask of Sam, it increases the chances of you catching his call. That's freaking awesome, Steve. You're going to screw me. I know you are now. That's really good. All right. And
Last question.
Camargo won. Yeah, for right now. I better read this fast. Hello, fellas. Now that the Lexa 500 has got a summer under its belt, have you been able to assess customer feedback on its performance? What an excellent question. Sam?
This has probably been the worst year for that reel to come out for that reason, as far as for getting tested. We really haven't had a whole lot of your popper fishing. We just haven't had that for this tuna. The few guys that have used it have been doing just great. The test that I've seen from our customers that have used it in that capacity is down at Cedros. Those guys that have taken it down there have been doing great with it. No issues. In fact, I don't think we've even gotten one back for service yet, so for me, sometimes that's kind of a sign of a reel that's doing pretty good, but I will say they probably haven't got as much use as it would have been maybe 3 or 4 years ago when we had more of that popper style fishing for that tuna. But in general, the guys who have used them seem to be happy with them. And like I said, I don't think we've gotten one back for any kind of service at all. So to me, that's a sign of a reel that's doing pretty good.
All right. And I think it was Tyler and Tamara who came into our studio while we were over at 22nd Street Landing. Big fans of everything we're doing. Thank you so much and good luck on the Amigo here tonight. Steve's going to keep you working, man.
No, this is just for you. This is just for you.
Oh, hey, Sam, did you get any of the SKJ 149 water jig?
He just made it.
Yeah, I know he did. You rat think, Steve. If I get sick, I'm coming for you, man. I tell you.
I have an SK question.
Uh-oh, there we go. We were just going to end it.
I bought this right here. Are these hooks good? The stock ones? I know that I wouldn't use a split ring, but the hooks, are they fine?
So Chris was asking about the stock hardware and hooks on a SK jig. As far as jigs are concerned and what hooks comes with them, yeah, this isn't the same as some of the aftermarket hooks that we saw from Owner and things like that. It's not as strong as those, but I would say that the hooks that come on that jig is probably some of the best hooks that you can get on a stock jig. I would say, I personally have caught mini tuna over 100 pounds on that jig with the stock hooks. So I would say that they're good hooks for sure. Is it going to be something that you want to hang, 150 pound and a 300 pound fish? Maybe not going to be the hooks for that, but for anything 80 to 150, I'd have no problem fishing those kind of hooks on there. But just like anything else, you want to keep in mind that you want to take extra hooks, not necessarily because those are going to straighten out, but if you happen to hook a fish in which that string is right in the teeth and you get a fish that you're on for a little while and its head shaking real hard, you might get to where that little rope is going to start wearing through. So the hook might be fine, but the rope, on any assist hook, not only that one there, but even if you were to upgrade it, it's something you want to keep an eye on. It's just like checking your line for nicks. Same kind of thing is you want to check the hook, the rope for those nicks as well.
All right, Chuck Zimmer says he can stop by and pick up the blank, or you can send it with Michael. I've got to go see Chuck and take him or pick up the Paulina rod. One of these days, between that triangle, Chuck, we can make that happen, that's for sure. Mario lost a fish on an SK hook. It opened up.
So that's one of those kind of disclaimers. It can happen to any hook, any hook that we sell, I've seen, the most beefiest hooks open up. And it's not necessarily that the hook is bad quality or that it was a weak hook, but the nature of fishing is that you're not always going to get a hook that is seated in the most favorable way. There's going to be times in which that point of the hook just doesn't penetrate. It's kind of hard to show here on this hook here, but if you get it to where it's just pushing on the very end of the hook and you were to pull sideways with that, you can apply a lot of pressure to this part of the hook. Now, if that hook penetrates and now you're pulling on this part of the hook, you're not going to really straighten that out. So like jigs like this, the stock hook on a Tatty 45, I've seen 200-pound tuna caught on it. But I've also seen a 25-pound yellowtail straighten this out.
Oh, wow.
But that has a lot to do not with the size of the fish or how hard you were pulling, but really the hook penetration. And so the more that the hook penetrates, the better leverage you have, and the least leverage the
that
fish
makes
has.
sense. Yeah, I get what you're saying now.
Yeah. You could take a 9.0 or 10.0 Super Mutu, grab the point of it, and straighten it out.
Yeah.
So it's like taking a breaker bar or something like that. You just have more leverage. So it can happen. So it's one of those things. There's always a disclaimer: fishing is still fishing. There's no guarantees. But even on a beefier hook, that could still happen. But when it happens on a stock hook, you're always gonna think, dang it, I should have changed it out. That would have solved that. And maybe it would have. Maybe you would have got a better hook set or something like that. But it can't have. But I personally have caught a lot of big fish on the stock hooks there.
All right. Sounds like Charles Zimmer is going on a trip. He's traveling somewhere because he needs the grips, which we used to refer to as luggage, and he needs a guide on the train with him. So,
Oh.
yeah. Actually, he needs the grips and the guide train, which I'm sure you understand that.
Yeah.
What is that?
So it's the Hypalon.
Yeah.
And then the guides.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
get that for you. Mario N. Oh, no, we already did Mario N. I think we're done. And you want to be done, don't you?
Let's be done.
All right. Sam De La Torre, you've already mentioned how people can get here. You want to do it one more time again? Why not?
Yeah, it's 21809 Avalon Boulevard, City of Carson. We are located right off the 405 freeway between the 710 and the 110. Phone number here is 310-707-1205. Once again, we're going to be having the CCA barbecue November 10th. That's a little bit down the way. We're going to be promoting that a little bit. And then also, too, is we're going to be having a seminar here, lobster hooping seminar. So if you're going to be a first-time lobster hooping, or you're just looking to stock up, we are going to have some discounts on that day for the lobster hooping stuff. So for you guys that want to come down and load up and get your stuff ready for the season, come on down and we'll have that. We'll be posting some more info on that, and I think Promar will be also helping us with promoting that as well.
Can we have Michael just come in for 1 second at the very end of the
As
show?
long as I can leave.
There goes. Oh, he went to the
He
bathroom.
went to go wash
Oh,
up.
no, here he comes.
Oh, there he is.
Yes, because his mother tuned in to see this. Wish your mother a happy Mother's Day while you're here.
Happy Mother's.
Oh, I don't know. All right. Well, Michael, thank you. Whew. Yeah, okay.
10 jacks while we're good.
No, don't, please.
No, please.
No,
It's gonna
no.
Spread it, yeah.
Go sit in Grandpa's lap. All right, everybody. Morning briefing tomorrow morning. Lots more content. We're on the Apollo for 2 days. We'll be having updates coming from the Apollo depending on the Wi-Fi situation. It may be in the form of shorts, and then again, it may be some live transmission. We'll try to make that all happen for you. Isaac says, good night, Sam and Friedman Adventures family. And Steve Nyes, hey, Phil, do you have any? Never mind, you have nothing.
Okay.
Good night,
Profound. Something to ponder. All right. Thank you, Steve. Good luck on your surgery. And never mind. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for joining us, Sam. Good. Oh, no, I'm not touching you.